This is absolutely nuts. Like, I'm starting to see the Bloomberg articles, from the past couple of days as I begin to do my research into everything. Russian ruby powers ahead even after capital controls are dialed back. So this was, on May 24th. I didn't see this. ITI Capital sees some seasonal respite in summer months. Just going to put to Putin not to overdo the ruble gains. Russian's currency has extended a rally that's taken it to the strongest level versus the dollar in 4 years, prompting a warning from one of President Vladimir Putin's staunchest allies that the gains may be overdone. The ruble was stronger for a fifth day against the dollar and the euro, even after Putin signed a decree loosening capital controls by reducing the amount of foreign currency exporters are required to convert. The Russia's currency is by far the best performer globally this year, with gains of about 30% against the dollar, but its recovery since the invasion of Ukraine has been so rapid that economists are warning that the appreciation will batter budget revenue and hamper exporter competitiveness. The ruble is strengthening at a crazy price, and we need to be careful not to overdo it. Belarus President Alexander Lukashenko quipped at a meeting with Putin on Monday. Still, he added that while the gains had baffled Western nations, they were expected by Belarus and Russia, and that this would be the time of opportunity for their economies. The ruble surge on Monday triggered a decision by the central bank to allow exports to convert 50% of their revenue rather than 80%, an emergency measure introduced as part of the capital controls after the invasion to protect the ruble. Now those restrictions are looking like a serious impediment. Energy windfall combined with the collapse in imports amid the sweeping sanctions and its allies imposed on Russia. They've eradicated demand for foreign currency just as dollars and euros pour in due to high prices for largely unsanctioned energy exports. Adding to the pressure, foreign clients of Gazprom PGSC have been following in line with Putin's demand that they open the foreign currency and ruble accounts, with the gas giants lending firms to transfer funds to convert for conversion. More money may be coming home to Russia and being converted into rubles after companies were spooked by the freeze on the central bank's 600 billion international reserves held abroad. It's much riskier and much and more complicated to keep export revenue in foreign currencies in the foreign financial system compared with holding it in rubles and in Russia. Sofia Donitz at Renaissance Capital said the sanctions encourage exporters to convert their hard currency into rubles. Lovely. The ruble was trading at 3.1% stronger against the euro, as of 2:03 p.m. in Moscow, a 15% gain in the past day. It was 26% stronger versus the dollar at 56, 39.25 and a 13%. So didn't Warren Buffett, by the way, tell you to be fearful when everybody else was excited? Wasn't that his advice to everybody? And what do you see is going on in Russia? The ruble is skyrocketing. You don't want to be emotional. You don't want to get excited about the current trends. You want to look in to use your brain about them. Less pressure. There may be some respite ahead once that end of the month tax period ends and foreign payments for flows of natural gas in April are completed. Traders may then look into the prospect of further increased rate cuts at the central bank's next meeting on June 10th. Further monetary easing will take pressure off the currency to strengthen. But for now, Moscow changes to capital controls are unlikely to have much impact, according to IDI Capital analyst Alexander Lutsko. Due to local liquidity on the currency market, exporters will actually sell no more than 50% of currency from export transactions. Already, he said, in the current environment, it's extremely difficult for the central bank to develop measures to stimulate demand for currencies due to restrictions on currency purchases by individuals and falling imports. He predicted the ruble will trade in a range of 60 to 50 per year term before weakening between 55 to 75 per dollar by the start of the third quarter as seasonal demand for Russian energy exports, falls. So, I mean, that's what they're expecting and projecting, is that the ruble has gone up, and now that it's gone up, it's going to go down. With assistance from Continent, Cordalis, and this is in Bloomberg. Russia's currency has extended a rally that's taken it to the strongest level versus the dollar in 4 years, prompting a warning from one of Vladimir Putin's staunchest allies that the games may be overdone. The ruble was stronger on the fifth day against the dollar and the euro, even after Putin signed a decree loosening capital controls by reducing the amount of foreign currency exporters are required to convert. And so this is something that I didn't see, but it's again confirming my view, because now I'm looking at an environment that looks very much so like there's a lot of how should I say this, but there's a lot of excitement in Russia about this, but there's no good reason for this to be happening, for the ruble to be appreciating by this much. I mean, I'm aware Russia is able to export oil, right? But Russia is also just about likely, despite all of its abilities, to now suddenly be pushed into a state of default, despite having all of that ability, you know. So it's going to be a problem for them, and the ruble, has just gone up. But I would probably like that trend is not like it's like Buffett said, when everybody else is excited, you want to be fearful. You want to do the opposite of what the trend is actually doing. So, the ruble is going way up, at the moment, in spite of the fact that the news about what's going on and Russia being likely to be forced into a default is bad for the country's creditworthiness.